So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's feature now here in Honda Cars Manila Bay is the 2022 Honda City V variant. I already test drove the City RS variant in Honda Cars Pasig. Link of that will be in the description down below. So I would like to thank Ma'am Trixie. I would like to thank Miss Isa, Ma'am Trixie, Sir Jeremiah, and Ma'am Princess for allowing me to review here again in Honda Cars Manila Bay. Having driven the RS variant, knowing this is the V variant, I think this is the sweet spot of the range, as many would say. And unlike the RS variant now, you don't get a gloss black grille. This one is chromed out. I'm not a big fan of those, by the way, gloss black and chrome. But knowing they're on the outside, it's fine. And comparing with the RS variant, I just do prefer the gloss black, just being honest. But I would say this chrome look is not too bad at all. Ground clearance is still the same, 134 millimeters. You only get halogen lights now this time, and there's no more fog lamp here at the side. And this is a fake vent, by the way. You have 16-inch alloy wheels instead. Actually, they still look nice despite being the middle variant. And unlike the RS variant, now this gets body-colored side mirrors instead. This I prefer over the RS variant because the RS variant was just all gloss black. And then on the side profile, still your Honda City, very distinct character line here on the side. So here at the rear of the Honda City variant, despite being the middle variant and having halogen headlights up front, the rear taillights are still LED. And yes, the rear still looks like it still kind of does. And the differences between the RS variant, of course, you don't get the gloss black spoiler here anymore, and the absence of the RS badge here. Now it's the i-VTEC kick in, yo. Anyway, but you still get the nice reflectors here. The RS has a diffuser, black diffuser. This one doesn't have anymore. And the boot space, still the same as the RS variant. Total space here is 519 liters. A bit less than the previous gen GM6, but this is still the biggest in its class. And as you can see here, you can fit a lot of stuff in here. Unlike the RS variant now, there are no more levers, latches here on the rear. You cannot fold the seats down here anymore. And few toys here, one light and a space saver donut type underneath. The load lip is quite high, but since this is a sedan, I mean look, you can put stuff up and down almost easily. So with that, I'll show you the interior. I made a severe inconsistent lapse of judgment. The red one is a freaking S variant, and this is actually the V variant. They all look the same. Anyway, to tell the difference between the V and the S variant is the chrome door handles on the outside. That is it. So thank God there are not much differences on the outside comparing with the V variant. There's a lot of differences compared with the S and the V variant. So this review now is comparison between the S and the V variant. Now here in the interior of the V variant, I am legit in the V variant. As you can see, there is white plastic here and white soft fabric materials here. And like the S variant, you still get fabric seats all around. And unlike the S variant, central console box is also wrapped in fabric. And then yeah, my phone just fits in there. And then still like all the City variants, you get cubby spaces here for your phone. And the difference between the S and V variant, the center console now has a very hard white leather soft pads here. Doesn't serve a purpose, being honest, but it's there for show anyway. Unlike the RS, the S and V variant don't get paddle shifters. So I want to see if this is still fun to drive this without the paddle shifters. And comparing with the S and V variant, the S has a polyurethane steering wheel, it's squishy, and surprisingly, this has the same steering wheel as the RS, it's hard leather. Very nice to the touch, both are very good in their own ways. And unlike the S variant, you still get volume controls here on the left side, and on the right side of this V variant you have cruise control settings, but at least both of them have push start systems with the white illumination when you open the door. You have an analog speedometer and tachometer wrapped in a silver ring. Compared to the red of the RS variant, I prefer the RS just a little bit more for obvious reasons. And then all CTs I love the visibility up front. It is completely flat, so seeing throughout in front is very good. As in the back as well, the C-pillar is not too big, so it is fine. And then you have 2 cubby spaces and cup holders on either side. My water jug fits as well. This is what I like with the S variant now. I think good thing I made the mistake. You get 2 extra cup holders here in the back of the CTS. Comparing with this V variant, you only have a center console back, so it's a jack of all trades, I must say. Like all cities, my complaint with the cup holders in front, my water jug fits, but it hits the climate controls. That's the only issue I found. And then at least all variants still have an 8-inch infotainment system that supports Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. All the air conditioning controls look exactly the same, from the Civic, HR-V to the CT and the rest. And then below that, you have a weird cubby space with 2 USB ports, 1 12-volt socket. My phone fits in either of them. The one below is a bit small, but it still holds it in place nicely. And then the difference between the V and the S variant as well, the air conditioning vents. The one in the S is matte black. Here in the V, it's wrapped in this silver trim. And then glove box, okay, pretty decent. And then light controls still the same. Like the V and the S, you have a mirror still here, no light though, but it's fine. Sun visors don't exist, but the sun visors are really thick. And both S and V, comparing with the RS, their headlining material is cream compared to the black of the RS. But touching both S and this V, they're nicer to the touch for some reason. They're your seats, but you join me now in the S variant. So here at the rear of the Honda City V, still as good as in front. Of course, this is no longer leather, but still you have the fabric soft touch here for your shoulder. And then the biggest difference here, there are no USB ports there in the middle and air conditioning vents, and then there is no more central armrest here, sadly. But you still get 2 ISOFIX anchor points on each side, and then 1 map pocket there only for the passenger side. But space here in the back, pretty excellent. Feet room, knee room, and headroom. I'm 5'4" by the way. I still have enough headroom, but taller people might tend to struggle ever so slightly. So I think people who are 5'7", 5'8" can still somewhat sit in here. And then sitting here in the middle, the seat's a little bit elevated. Also, you still have fabric seats all around here. The transmission tunnel is not that wide and not that tall. You can just simply put your feet up and sitting in the middle. And then being fabric seats, surprisingly, it is somewhat softer to sit here in the middle and more comfortable. But my headroom, yeah, is just a little bit eaten up now. I only have that much space left. And then there are small cubby spaces and bottle holders on each side. But surprisingly, my water jug still fits. A tight squeeze, but it still fits nevertheless. And then funny story with this Honda City V variant. I never knew this feature existed. I mean, I keep seeing it on brochures, but I never demoed it fully. There is a child lock switch here. Well, toggle switch here on the side. So in case you have kids here in the back, they won't open the door just like that. So I had the funniest experience with this, and the most embarrassing one so far to date. I literally locked myself in the car, and then I was like, "Ma!" That literally happened. Thank God Miss Sisa was just around. This is already unlocked. I can still open it. You have to open it from the outside so your kids won't be like, "Yeet!" Okay? So this is the engine of the Honda City. It's exactly the same throughout the lineup. All these, by the way. It's a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine that produces 120 horsepower and 145 Newton meters of torque, and is mated to a CVT transmission. And hopefully soon, I will drive a manual transmission City. I've always wanted to try that as a manual. So with that, let's go for a drive. So driving the 2022 Honda City V. Yes, I'm in the V. It's white. Anyway, so few things I need to take note from the S and the V. There's a green illumination around the digital cluster if you're in eco mode. And like the S variant, this has no official sport mode. You only have the eco button, activate or deactivate, to make it like a normal mode. To activate sport mode, like the HR-VS as well, it's in the gear lever. But I like all the variants have the engine start-stop button in red. And then yeah, so far so good. Feels very similar with the CTRS. I wanna see Again, if it's fun without the paddle shifters. I'm a bit spoiled with the CTRS, just being honest. And also, like every other city review, I wanna see if this has the infamous fuel consumption that I keep hitting. This is eco mode, Florid. Yep, just as good as the CTRS. But I need to take note as well, this is just a little bit lighter than the CTRS. I just put it on screen. But familiarity, like driving it here corner really fast, there's body lean and it's still fun to throw around, I must say. Yep, just as good. And yes, being a CVT, it does scream a lot. Okay, I want to get it out of the way, but not bad without the paddle shifter. So either with or without, I'm okay, as long as it's a Honda City. And then body lean is not that much, like your typical sedan. And surprisingly, throwing them around corners, this city is among the best out there. Handling and driving dynamics, among the best, and also the most powerful as well in its class. And unlike other CVTs sedans that I've tried, I noticed this wants to keep on going. It is really responsive. That's what I like with Hondas. Hondas have one of the best CVTs out there. And I need to take note again with the S and the V variant. I really did not mean to shoot the S, but anyway, the S does not have a reverse camera. This does. Yeah, like the Civic and I say the HRV as well, the quality of the reverse camera is not great, but you can zoom in and out if you want. But I don't mind it, at least it's still good to have. And then take another corner really fast. Yep, still fun, very very fun to throw around. This is what I like with Honda Cities, even the RS. I mean, all of them in general. They are really fun to drive. They're one of the few subcompact sedans that I love driving, along with the Nissan Almera, because that has a turbocharged engine. Either way, I'll be happy, City or the Almera. M Grand, okay, I love the comfort of that, but I'll be very honest, it's not that fun to drive. Yes, again, comparing this with the Almera, yeah, this is among the best driving subcompact sedans, I must say. I did not take this before, like in the City RS. I took rough patches off-road. This one's like semi-off-road because there's a construction site only here. Let's try sport mode just now. And then going over bumps. This is what also like with the City RS. The suspension is not firm or too soft. It is just right smack in the middle. And then here going over body, murky road. Okay, soaks up the bumps pretty well. Okay, comparing like in the GM6, the previous gen Honda City, this one just performs a little bit better because I forgot to mention, the engine is now a dual overhead camshaft comparing to the single overhead camshaft like of the City GM6. Also, the previous generation Honda City review will be in the description down below. But to be honest, any Honda City, they're all fun to drive. But would I take a V over the RS variant? Just being honest, nope. I do prefer the looks of the CTRS, and of course, you know me, I prefer having paddle shifters. So if you don't want to show off or just look a little bit more subtle, I recommend this Honda City V variant because it's still got the power and everything. Like every freaking Honda City I reviewed, even the old one, my fuel consumption now is still 8.3 to 8.4 kilometers per liter. So yes, fuel consumption is consistent throughout every Honda City. And then now, let us try sport mode. It's way more responsive. Now that's my big problem with the CTV. This is why I prefer the paddle shifters in the RS, because you can change up and down. If you're going to highway, it will just stay above 6,500 RPM or at the red line. But if you don't mind, if you're just driving it around in the city, no pun intended, it's still a good performing sedan. Yeah, but you just can't change up and down. That's my only gripe with it. You can't, just being honest, shut it up. I mean, look. Yeah, that's the problem. That's why I'm a bit biased with the RS. But make no mistake, as I said earlier, this CTV is still a great subcompact sedan. Still among one of the best out there. But if you have the extra 60,000 pesos, go for the RS variant. That I really recommend. So yeah, that concludes my review here with this Honda CTV and accidentally DS variant. So I would like to thank again Honda Cars Manila Bay, Ma'am Trixie, Miss Isa, Ma'am Princess, and Sir Jeremiah for allowing me to review here again in Honda Cars Manila Bay. Also, I did a review here with the HRV V Turbo variant. Link of that will be in the description down below as well. So hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more future car reviews. Hopefully I'll get a Civic base variant as well on my channel soon. Bye bye.